Alright, so we're going to talk about the rooster today.
Okay.
Scar.
Yes.
I know that we have varied feelings throughout the household and that they have changed to some degree throughout the course of the time that we have had him. So, let's start with reminding ourselves why we got a rooster.
Well, we got Scarlet Terror as a gift because we went for 11 chickens, and we needed to stop at 11 because otherwise we wouldn't have eggs for anything, eating or selling.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. He needed a home. We knew that he had issues with not behaving well with the females in the house, and that he only had 3 chickens there. So I know that Ekin and I that we would solve a lot of those issues by having 11 chickens for the rooster.
Yeah.
So
if we thought with a bigger harem, we wouldn't be quite too much.
He seemed to have helped with the external issues. I know we have coyotes, we have a fox, we have a hawk, we have a hawk, and that it seems pretty apparent that Scar is doing his job in that fashion. I know that the missing feathers on the one chicken that you noticed happened about the same time that we were seeing the hawk die for them.
Get it a couple of times, but I didn't know when it was supposed to appear. So
the day that he saw it drop to the ground, almost right near a chicken that seemed to run away, that was the day that we became the most concerned about it because we'd seen them circling, we'd seen them in the area. That was the day that we almost watched one get taken, and that was very near the time when you first noticed that she was missing most of her butt feathers. So, in the course of the time that we've had him, we have had incidents where he's come directly at us, where he has attempted to attack. Luckily, we have each been able to thwart those attempts. Where do you end up with
through some sort of magic or intimidation, Dan hasn't. I feel like ever since the rake incident, he probably scared the rooster enough that he didn't want to come near him ever again. First incident I had with the rooster, puffing himself up and running at me, and Cooper barked at him, my dog Cooper, which made him think twice about that particular course of action. And I haven't really had a problem with him since.
Okay.
But I've noticed he doesn't on the either.
He's recognized them as a threat.
Probably.
Okay. I have been concerned about Melinda because I know she likes to stomp at the chickens and make them flutter away.
She does.
It is one of her favorite pastimes, after all. She seems to do it less since he's here, so I think that she's got some idea of the fact that he's protected. You're feeling personally on his attacking and where you're at with it.
I like his aggression because it means that he's going to protect our chickens. That's what we got him for. I wish it wasn't aimed at the people here. Every time we needed to do something that remotely involved being close to the chickens, because I feel like that's not okay.
Alright. So you're alright with the aggression as long as it is pointed in the actual predator, not the humans and our other animals. Is that correct?
Right. I feel like that's what we got him for, to be that little ball of protective rage. So as long as he keeps it centered on the chicken, As long as it keeps that focused on the chickens and not the people, I'm okay with it. It's the fact that he's attacking people that has me upset.
Excellent. I do agree with that. It is primarily the fact that we have so many of us in the house as regular visitors. I would like to say if we could get him to the point where he does not attack the people that are here the most, because that does include a variety of extra people. We've got friends groups, each of us, who are here regularly and sometimes are here without us. I know that we've got people that will help us when they're coming to us. For instance, Maxine. And we've got people who I will hate the forges off, check on things like that when we're away and there's no one here to have check. So identifying those people, if we find if we can involve the people that might be here on their own in that method so that he associates them, that might solve that issue for us. It might keep the regular folk who won't be here when we're necessarily out there to provide a buffer.
Looking at my visitors, hey, beware the rooster. It might be unnecessary. So if we can get the people who are most likely to be wandering around here protected in some fashion, that would be great.
I would also like to try to implement some sort of communication method for when we plan on having things happen. That way we know our guests over before sunset. That's when the chickens put themselves away. Let's not let them out today. Then everyone in the house realizes that if there's going to be a gathering substantial enough, we're not necessarily going to do it. Once we've let them out, we can't contain the chickens either. If we can find a way somewhere of when we put up the board, that sort of thing, where we can, that could be extremely useful in my eyes.
I agree with that.
Awesome. If we are going to keep him and continue to work with him instead of putting him in a stupor, we should probably set distinct progress that we want to see happen. I would like to see us get to a point where we don't have to take the animals out with us. The back half, basically anywhere up to the pines and the apple tree, because they come out of there and he gets territorial starting in that area. So if we can start there, that can be a first level of progression. If we can then expand that to not needing to have some for us not having a shepherd's hook, that would be the next thing. Not having a rake, not having a broom or a stick, I think is the next step beyond that.
I'd say that's the kind of problem. Totally fine with us getting a shepherd's hook. Just saying. But
excellent.
I'm honestly a little surprised that you're advocating to save the rooster, because you and Egan are the ones most aggrieved by the rooster.
Yes. I have had many moments where I have thought about how tasty he would be. Or another rooster. And I kind of am holding that as a contingency plan, so that if things don't work out with him, or if we decide that we don't want to breed his aggression into our future stock, because by next year, I know that we were considering expanding how many chickens we have. If we could transition then into trying this again with a new rooster, maybe one that we get younger, as opposed to one that is about to be homeless. Implement some different things at that point. The girls were the chickens were a lot more friendly before we got them. I don't know if that is or if our interaction with him is so strained. So, for future interactions that we could start younger and socialize him better.
It's probably a large part of it, the socialization. It'd be weird to. I want to look that up. It'd be weird to think about if the chickens pick up on our relation to the rooster.
I have a hard time thinking that they don't completely. Interaction with them.
Right.
I have wondered if there's the ability for them to retain that information though. So definitely looking into it and finding out if you're correct in thinking that they might not know to begin with is accurate, or whether we have a limited amount of time that they're going to remember, or if they're playing indefinitely with them being but wee little puffballs.
Yeah.
When we originally got them, socializing them seemed to work for quite a period of time. Chickens as much since the rooster has arrived, because he's got more protection. He doesn't need our time, or they don't need our time as adamantly. It could be just our lack of interacting with them as heavily. So maybe that's a
Also be spend as much with what I'm sure he perceives as his girls.
Yeah.
So if we identified ourselves as these are our chickens and we've raised them, and so are you, then maybe we would have more luck with making for.
Absolutely. So I think that there's some things that we can implement now, and there are some things that we can think about for future interactions. And our goal is to be able to walk to the backyard and not have to have another person, a weapon, or a dog with us. Eventually, I would also I can retrieve eggs without any of those things, because I know that it gets up in arms a bit more, because then I'm in their personal space.
Right.
So some way to identify their personal space as still our space.
Had instances where I actually have been able to go to the coop and get eggs without having another implement nearby. But that's usually at night. I don't know if he's just more tired at that point, or if it's again a me and Dan thing.
At night, was it?
It was. I was putting them away.
Okay, so in the evening, but not like 3 a.m.
Not at 3 a.m. But
Okay.
definitely after sunset.
All right. Excellent. Well, that's good information too. All right.
So I think we decided to let the rooster live.
I think so.
I like